Live?
We're getting ready to.
Okay. I
This
was trying to
content
see
is
how
being sent to YouTube. The content of this meeting is being sent to a third party.
dun dun dun.
I know.
Hey guys, you're about to be internet famous.
Oh, I'm internet famous.
For the record, I have my tomatini, and then
Oh,
the
Oh,
backups
nice.
are some LaCroix and Tito's ready to go. So
Well
I'm okay.
said.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
do I need to say okay to get this off the screen? Well,
I did.
Yeah. Hey, did you see this? They had this great meme this week that shows South Park people protesting, and the caption says, "Locals win Vegas, a tourist-driven city, does something to attract tourists."
It
Did not.
was a good one. It's very funny. It is dead here this week.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
is
wow.
dead.
It's F1 and then nothing.
And
Oh,
so maybe the luxury resorts are busy, but the non-luxury resorts, there is nobody there.
Yeah. All right, I got a statement.
Wait, are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
How come I didn't see it?
I don't know.
I'm going to live.
Well, now this isn't part of the show now, is it?
Well, I don't think so because I don't see it. Do you
Unless
guys? Do you
I
guys?
see it.
Yeah.
I've got the link and I've already sent it out. So yeah, we're live. There's like 7 people watching. I'm sure
Oh,
that number will grow.
that's what I tell my wife.
Just give it
hopefully we're
time.
not as equally disappointed as she is.
And then, I promise.
But anyways, all right. So we're starting. I'm doing the statement. At happy hour, you should tip based on regular full price.
Oh, I definitely have thoughts, but I'll let you guys go first.
Yeah, so here's my thing about tipping. Tipping is a pain in the ass. And
Mhm.
if I have to
Yeah.
participate in this bullshit, you have to earn it. Nobody's getting a flat percentage anymore. It depends on how well you did your job before, it's I'm not blindly just tipping people. I think tip culture is excessive in
So
America.
my wife and I had a conversation about this at dinner, and her observation was the problem with trying to tip on a full price um, tab during happy hour is you need to know what the full price cocktail or appetizer would
Sure.
be to
Right.
know what you should actually be tipping on at that point. I said, now wait a minute. I said, when you take what, if we've ever got coupons, some of those places that you eat at, they've got loyalty rewards where, after you spend X dollar amount, you'll get a certain amount off your tab. And I said, so if we get $25 taken off our tab, you still add $25 to the tab and then tip on that amount. So why wouldn't you tip on a happy hour price? And she said, well, that's just exactly it. At least I knew I have an idea of if it was 125 and now it's down to 100, I can add that back in, make it 125 and tip off from that 125. If I don't know what the happy hour price discount is versus what the full price would be, she said, then I got to ask for a menu and try to figure it out. And what if you're ordering stuff that's only on the happy hour menu? Then I'm just supposed to make up a number
Right.
to figure what it would be. So because I do whatever my wife tells me, I tip on just whatever the happy hour tab is.
Josh, how about you?
I think that, if the hour was really that happy, that's just going to be too much math anyway.
Right?
A couple bucks a
Trap me.
drink, regardless of whether it's, on sale or not, as long as, the service is quick and stuff, then I can sleep at night.
So Tony, I agree with both you and your wife.
Okay.
So if you go in and you get a discount on something, right? If you know you've got um, a gift card for $25 off or whatever, you do add that back when you're calculating your tip. Absolutely. And even if there's an item that I ordered that for whatever reason got comped off,
Mhm.
I will still take that into account when I'm tipping. The difference on a happy hour is management has made the decision to lower the prices in order to entice you to come in.
That's a good point.
So it's no different than offering, a sale at a store. They're trying to get people in, right?
Right.
And so I am not required.
Yeah, you're not coming into the store and they're going, "Hey, it's 20% off." Like, I'd prefer to pay all of it.
Well,
I did not
quite
reject
honestly,
that.
I also look at it, those happy hour deals is in the reason that they're offering them is they're trying to get people in. And so if people weren't in,
Shit, I never started recording.
You know what? It's a treat for all the people on YouTube that
Yes.
got here on
well, it'll
time.
be the
The
audio will
little
be on
extras
YouTube.
you get.
Can you pull it off from there?
I don't think so. I don't know. The thing is, I'm not recording it, so that's the other problem.
Okay.
We should-
Everybody in the chat, just pretend that
Pretend
this was a
it didn't
dress rehearsal.
Let's do this,
The
gang.
way it was.
When Mark makes the statement, let's all just go, "Yep, agreed." There's just there's nothing more.
If you want to know our thoughts, go to the YouTube live stream and
That's
watch the
right.
beginning.
Right.
The 537 show is completely different than the 530 show, folks.
Right.
But I didn't get to finish my thought. Do I get to finish my thought or no?
Well,
It's
yeah,
going to be a
we'll-
fresh surprise for us. So.
Yeah, let's we'll start with the statement. So we had a hiccup here. We didn't I forgot to hit record. So we came in guns blazing and now we're going to try and recapture that energy. So
Well,
at
what's
happy
funny
hour
is-
the statement
we-
is at happy hour you should tip based on regular full price. Karen, what were your thoughts?
So my thought, and again, I'm agreeing with Tony and both his lovely wife. Whereas, if I go in with a gift card and get $25 off or something, I will add that $25 back to tip. If something's been comped off for some reason, I will make sure the value of that is included on what I tip. A happy hour, the management has made the decision to lower the price to try to entice people to come in, because the thinking being, if you were paying full price, people wouldn't go there. Right.
Mhm.
So this is management's decision to make a sale. If they didn't discount the price and the people weren't coming in, then there would be no tips for the servers. So no, on happy hours or any kind of special, if it's so think about it too as your prefix menus, right?
Oh my
So-
God, we didn't do the intro. We didn't do anything.
I tried to interrupt to be like, don't we usually just? But I thght that's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he just wants to have fun.
we fumbled this.
That's all right.
beginning.
You know what?
We're
Once we get through our conversation about the tip,
I don't know,
on
I just
happy
got
hour,
interrupted again by Mark, so I don't know why I want to continue talking.
I don't need
You couldn't
this.
have let me finish my thought and then just rolled with it and said, "Oh, hey, let's do the intro." You just cut me off again.
No, yeah, I noticed an issue. I had to identify it. I owned up to my issue
We
right away.
noticed the issue too and didn't say anything. We just decided to roll with it.
Well, that's not the way we do a show. So, all right.
Okay, note to self, guys. If Mark ever jumps the gun and just starts going into it, tell him to
Right.
stop.
You cut
This
him
is
off.
not what we do.
This
That's
is not how
not
we
what
do
the
this.
words on the
It's not
page.
show.
Read the
Not the
words on the page.
That's right. Take a tip from Tony. Just read the words that are on the page, man.
Hold
All
on.
right.
I'm resetting this, and then
Oh, the recording?
yeah,
Well, you're just gonna have the statement and we're just gonna tell people.
Yeah, we're all.
live stream.
that's right. Right. All right, we're rolling.
You're listening to episode number 512 of the 360 Vegas podcast.
Hey,
Check out the
Chris.
blog at 360vegaspodcast.com or send us an email at 360vegaspodcast@gmail.com. Get early and sometimes exclusive access to all things 360 Vegas, including 37 episodes of Vintage Vegas, 53 anti-ups, 114 Vegas cocktails, and lots more with a $7 per month subscription to Patreon. That's patreon.com/360vegas. Also, you can join the conversation on Discord with dedicated chats covering all things 360 Vegas. It's free to join, and an invite to our server can be found at 360vegaspodcast.com.
And now the listeners get to see what a live version of the show is really like.
Hey, I'm managing a lot of things. All right, and I missed one. I missed the record button.
Well, you missed two. You jumped the intro.
It's true. It's true. I jumped the intro. I was excited today for this and for the book and to share with people. And so sorry, I got overly excited. So the statement for the third time. At happy hour, you should tip based on regular full price. So here's my thought on it.
No. If you want to know the thoughts, go to YouTube and watch the live stream. We're not redoing this conversation for the third time.
No, we are. tipping is a pain in the ass. So if I have to participate in this, you've got to earn it. Nobody's getting a flat percentage. It depends on how well you did. And these guys are gonna revolt and not join me in this conversation. So
We've
first
joined
time-
you
for the first time,
14 times.
Yeah, for the first time, the statement doesn't have any controversy to it.
I will recoup or redo my thoughts in a very concise manner if you would like me to.
I would like that.
Okay. So, and this agrees with what Tony said and what his wife said is if I get a discount like a gift card or something that reduces the total, I will tip on what the pre-discount, pre-gift card total was. If there's an item that's comped off for whatever reason, I will tip including that comped item in. On a happy hour, management has made the decision to lower the prices to bring in the customers, with the thinking being that if they were paying full price, the customers wouldn't be there. So if I was paying full price and wasn't coming in, the bartenders or the servers wouldn't get tipped. So on a happy hour, on a price discount, I do not tip on the full priced item. There you go. That's it.
Fair enough.
So you're saying like the servers will make it up in volume
Yes.
because of the increased traffic that wouldn't be there if there wasn't a happy hour.
Well, and usually it's at the bar, right? The happy hour
Yeah.
is normally I guess no, it depends on the restaurant. Because
Yeah.
like Yard House does happy hours that you can get at so they make it up in volume versus
Right.
what good point.
see that.
Thank you. Very nice way of saying that.
I think
Josh.
Vital Vegas has become something of a tip Nazi, and I think he might have been the one that inspired this one.
Yes, and Karen, the listeners in the chat, they're really interested in what you're drinking. There's both Tom Hammond and OTG Studio want to know what it is you're drinking right now. So
this is my favorite lava tomatini. So this is that tomato martini. I do have later because these are very complicated to make, and Mark will not let me get up from my seat during the recording.
No, we need to do
set up-
like the Rat Pack. I need to get you a mobile
A
drink.
bar cart.
a drink
Yeah,
cart.
bar cart.
Oh,
Or a bar
that's
cart.
brilliant.
Mike
Yes.
wouldn't be there. I would not be objected because I was actually thinking there's no way you would get me a bar cart.
Just a little
but-
bar cart. That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then I would kind of turn the iPad so you could see me mixing my
Right.
cocktail.
So you make
That's
right.
drinks.
Yeah,
That's
but no,
right.
this is
And then make
tomatini.
off-color jokes. Yeah.
Yeah. I had to because again these are a little bit labor intensive, but they're so damn good. So I'm doing that now, and then later I'll be switching to a Tito's and LaCroix. So
And Low and Slow in the chat wanted to know what's in Tony's jug. I'll go ahead and spoil it. Tony's off the sauce for the rest of the evening. He's drinking water.
That's
So
right. That's right. It was a long afternoon.
Tony
Oh.
started early,
Tony was pre-partying.
and despite telling us last week that he wasn't going to pregame, he did, and so much so that he needed a nap.
That's
So
right.
if Tony is a little slow getting started, it's because he's still groggy from nap time.
Oh, yeah. Okay, listen. I think we should start the show again.
about time.
He's Mark. She's Karen. That's Josh, and I'm Tony. And as always, we start with Random Vegas.
It cost Harris Walt's campaign $900,000 to advertise on the Sphere for a week. We got that from @Grandpa D. Wow, 900 grand, almost $1 million.
That was a hell of a lot cheaper than the 10 million they paid Beyonce to come out and endorse her for one speech.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, the whole list of people that all these celebrities that were endorsing her were all coming from the campaign funds.
Huh.
So yeah, Beyonce got 10 million.
Yeah, you're right. That does sound like a hell of a deal.
Yeah, for a week. You got
For
an ad
1
that
week, yeah. Yeah, I got a whole week for
Yeah.
$1 million.
just in
Because I
Vegas.
think they charge half that for a day, I think, is about what they normally charge for advertisements on there.
But if you think about it, it's not just in Vegas that saw this. The fact that it was on the Sphere got
Yeah.
it media coverage
Yep, got global.
all over the place.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sounds like a bargain. You can.
Well,
Yeah.
and if that's the case, Josh, then arguably, I wonder if they have. So there's something called an in-kind contribution, which is when a company gives something to a candidate at free or discounted rates, that's going to have to be reported then as well to the Federal Election Commission. If that is in case how it works, where would you say half that is a day's worth? So $450,000 for a day on the Sphere. They got 2 days. They paid for 2 days, and then
Right.
got the other
Got a
say
week.
3 to 5 days for free as an
Or they have a
contribution.
special, right? That's where it's
for
like,
5
hey,
days.
1 day
Tony,
is $450, but if you pay $900, you get the whole week.
That's That's true.
They have to
It's
tip
the happy
on
hour of
on the
Sphere.
I
Happy hour
hope they
is
tipped
breaking.
appropriately. Goddammit.
Right.
All right, next up is the toy pick of the week.
Black and white photography is simply beautiful and inspires thought. This week's winner by @Vegas_visual shows off the dunes in all her glory, including the turret marquee. Let me share this with you guys.
People are lamenting that they don't have drunk Tony in the chat,
Oh, you all got drunk Tony last week.
saying it should be
So-
required on live feeds, Tony.
There you go. All right, where was I?
Great.
This week's winner by @Vegas_visual shows off the dunes in all her glory, including the turret marquee, the Diamond of the Dunes Hotel Tower, and the Dome of the Sea restaurant in stunning black and white. While a simple Google search would reveal what this place looks like in color, it's more fun to imagine it. Truth is, color takes some of the romance out of it, not like the elegance of black and white.
Okay, so that little pod thing up front is the restaurant.
Yeah, what the hell am I looking at?
Dome of the Sea.
So it's a restaurant with no windows.
Yes.
No, thank you.
Of all your wacky
Well, that
food
was fast.
stuff, it doesn't matter what kind of
It
food they
makes
got
me
in
think
there.
of that whole eating in the dark thing that they have now, where you go in and it's like pitch black and your servers have night vision goggles on.
Well, they have like fake like a fake skyline, so it is meant to set like a night sky.
Yeah, no, not a fan of that.
No.
Josh?
I think this is a great use of, black and white photography, just lots of contrast and stuff. It's a cool picture. I really like it.
Well, as always, we will link to the photo on our blog. We'll feature on all of our social media outlets, such as Flickr, Discord, Facebook, and Twitter. Let's get into the news. The news is brought to you by stripwalking.com. For the ultimate customizable POV walking experience in Vegas, check out stripwalking.com. All right, Mark, so you've got some 360 Vegas book updates to share with everyone.
Yes, the Kickstarter ended, and we are proud to say we not only reached our goal, we almost doubled it. We were hoping to get 4,500, but instead 91 people gave us $8,685.
Wow.
Thank you all so much. I can't explain how much this means and how the fact that you supported it. Just it's humbling. It's hard to articulate. Next up, expect an email or something from Kickstarter asking for information based on what tier you selected. Stuff like what name you'd like thanked in the book, if you want an iBook or a Kindle digital book, and what address you'd like the pins in the book sent to. As a reminder, we expect the book to be ready by February of 2025.
Question.
Yes.
Why didn't they ask based on the tiers if you wanted what the name was, the iBook, and all that when you signed up? Why did they wait till afterwards and then they send an email?
I don't know.
Okay, that just seems very inefficient to me.
Well, because not everybody needs to give their address. If somebody just purchased a digital, we don't need their address.
Right, but it seems like you would
Based on the tier that it would automatically ask that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not as intuitive as you would think.
But they're sending the emails. We're not sending the emails.
Right.
Okay, as long as they're taking care of it. I don't think we care.
Right. Now, as far as the process, I got some great notes from Josh again this week. The book officially gets submitted to the editor on December 1st. She will do the final proofread of the book and provide notes. Once that's done, we will index the book so it can be used as a reference for people. We got to see version 2 of the book cover this week, and version 2 was awesome. But as usual, we had notes, which I can't tell you how much I love collaborating with people. Working with Josh and working with the illustrator, and it's just so much fun, like getting these notes and like it feels like with Josh, it feels like he's grading it. Like it's awesome. Like all the stuff I get, I'm like, oh, that is better.
And
Or oh shit, that is what I meant to say.
Knowing you, getting your stuff graded was never your favorite.
Me?
No, you always hated. Oh no.
No, I liked grading because now you've given me a benchmark.
Okay, maybe you just weren't that good at it when you were young.
Well, yeah, it's another story.
Okay. This is coming from a friend who understands you well enough to know how to deliver appropriately. This is great, Mark, but have you considered? Don't want to bruise the ego too much there.
Well,
it's a fine line I have to walk.
That entire tone right there is bruising.
Hey, speaking of the, I'm sorry, I want to jump in here. Some stuff coming up in the chat. So speaking of that Kickstarter request for information email, um, we've got Phil in the chat who said he got those on Wednesday, and so I jumped into my Gmail, and sure enough, I got the same thing on Wednesday. Response needed. So look for an email from Kickstarter if you know were in one of those tiers, so that you can respond and give them what they're looking for. Otherwise, you don't get a book or pens. So.
Right. I get the benefit of your money without the
Without any obligation.
At all.
You don't tell us, it ain't gonna happen.
Right.
But
All right,
anyways,
next up. Oh, sorry.
so we shared the image in our Patreon chat on Discord, and just like a good collaborator, the illustrator loved the notes and projected that version 3 would be ready by the end of the week, which I was hoping was today, and did not become today.
And one of the collaborators, apparently she shared her work with her husband.
Yes.
And one of the pieces of feedback that you gave her that you were a little nervous about, she said her husband had the exact same feedback looking at it. So she missed the ball. She dropped the ball on that one. No, just kidding. Kidding.
But there we are with the book right now. Still lots of waiting, but a lot of quality people doing their job, and just need to be patient.
All right. Next up, Senior Frogs is closing.
It's being reported that Senior Frogs at Treasure Island is closing at the end of the month, or at the end of December. Sorry. No word what will replace it. The 23,000 square foot facade altering space. Surprisingly, the RJ credited Vital Vegas for breaking the news that the space was for sale.
What?
Yep.
Wow.
This is expected to be a quick flip with new ownership in place, ready to repurpose the space into a new concept. Again, no word what will happen to the giant fucking frog on the strip.
I was gonna say this is not going to be a quick flip, because to de-theme that place is going to take a hell of a long time. They may sell it quickly,
right?
But it ain't going to be a quick flip.
Well, especially if you're switching over in January. I mean, that's a good time to
Oh yeah, it's dead in January, February. So whoever's coming in, although again, what they've got to do to that, my prediction will be it'll take at least
they repaint the frog and rename him.
He's now the pink toad. He's
right there. You go. He's no longer Senior Frogs. He's now pink toad.
That okay? Well, then you could probably do it in 45 days.
Right.
Otherwise, you're looking. I would set the line on this at. I'm going back and forth between 5 and 6 months. That it'll take to flip over that space. But it also depends on
Do you need to have another giant anchor, or can you start to like cut this thing up and sell it out to multiple people?
Well, they're selling the whole space because it's 2 stories.
Right.
And so I'm sorry, it's bad habit, folks. I keep looking over there because Mark is actually sitting on my right, and I'm still, after years, used to just looking at him directly instead of looking up to the screen. So I apologize. No, they're doing the whole space, the entire thing, both floors, everything else. It's up. It's one lease. It's not going to be 2, so it's not going to be split. Now, does somebody coming in have a vision that they're like, you know what, I can put 2 different concepts in here? That I don't know. My guess is the kitchen is just on 1 floor, so to build out a whole nother kitchen on the second space would be a whole awful lot of other stuff. Yeah, I would say it will take at least 6 months if the new tenant starts January 1 after Senior Frogs closes, which it won't because it'll take them at least a week or more to get all this shit out of there. You're looking at least 6 months. So you're looking at the end of June before anything else opens in there.
Well, that's a major facade change.
Yeah.
That's what I keep thinking about is
if you could quickly reskin the restaurant,
right.
What I call paint the walls, change out the furniture so it's not this god awful ugly thing. You could probably, like I said, be in there within 45 days.
Okay.
But if you're doing anything to change the look of it so it does not resemble Senior Frogs in any way, shape, or form, at least 6 months. At least.
All right.
So
I think they put some.
Also... Oh, go ahead.
I think they put some eyelashes on that frog and they call it Senorita Toads. And
Senorita Toad.
Done.
Lastly, Vital Vegas is reporting that Senior Frogs is now charging a CNF charge. Just kind of a final fuck you.
Yeah.
Take what you can get before you're gone.
You give up. All right, let's move on to, and this is a fascinating topic. Let's talk about the dirtiest casinos.
In a recent analysis of the dirtiest casinos in Vegas, Circus Circus, Oyo, and Silver Sevens made up the top three.
Which one was number one?
Well, it's in that order. Circus Circus,
Circus?
Oyo, and Silver
Yeah,
Sevens.
that sounds right.
Yeah. Excalibur, Flamingo, Rio, Plaza, Golden Gate, Park MGM, and the Four Queens round out the top 10.
Wow.
Alarmingly missing is El Cortez. It's unclear how they calculated their dirtiness percentages, but the list rings true except for Park MGM. But what if I said it was Monte Carlo instead of Park MGM? Does that make it easier to believe? I think that's just a testament to good branding or good rebranding. But the problem is if the operations are still running dirty, you're just going to taint that name.
Taint.
So, I read a little bit about how they determined this, and I think that whoever put this together read through a whole bunch of reviews or scanned through reviews, and then was looking for keywords.
Right.
And you and I kind of had a conversation about this on Discord. And I think, for instance, Park MGM. Well, let's go back to Four Queens. I think the average Four Queens customer knows what they're paying for and what they're getting, and so probably less likely to complain about it being dirty because they're like, I mean, here we are at the fucking Four Queens, so whatever. Whereas somebody at Park MGM that kind of tries to position themselves as, I would say, upper mid. I don't think they're upper mid, but I think they try to position themselves that way, would be more apt to complain if they see any dirt. So I think there's a flaw in that methodology because who are going to be your complainers, right?
Right.
An interesting thing is the same day that was posted on Discord, I saw a similar graphic that was made the same way. Somebody read through reviews and put together stuff, and they were naming, and I can't remember where I saw it, the most dangerous casinos where people had reported, crimes or something like that in their reviews. And the top three, number 2 and number 3 were exactly the same. Oyo and Silver Sevens, but then your El Cortez was number 1 on that one.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I could see that.
Sorry, I have to interrupt two things. Number one, in the group chat, James Jones mentioned. So, sorry. First off, Scott Schwartz.
Talk into your mic.
Schwartz. I'm trying to read over here and do this. Scott mentioned, I will be surprised if the next operation will be open in 2025, which I kind of agree with too. But James Jones made a great point. I could see something similar to a Margaritaville concept going into the Senior Frogs.
Ooh, there you go.
Margaritaville is looking for a new home. And quite honestly, they could flip that space around outside from the external removal of the frog pretty quickly.
And that's an upgrade for TI. I mean, if you, I mean, not saying specifically Margaritaville is looking for a new spot, but and they're entertained by this, but
going back to the dirtiest, I was surprised to see Golden Gate on there.
Really?
Well, I don't think of the casino as being dirty.
No.
I mean, the Stevens brothers don't tend to run. I mean, they took, Fitzgerald's and turned it into the D. They don't run dirty properties. Now, we've only stayed at a room there once, and it was an original room, which I wouldn't have called
I don't know
dirty.
if it's dirty, but it's dated.
It was dated.
Yeah.
Right. But so that one surprises me that it's on the list. I'm interested to hear Tony's thoughts on El Cortez, because you have kind of a soft spot for El Cortez in your heart, but I don't know if you've stayed there.
So first of all, there are 14 Senior Frogs locations around the country, around the world.
Right.
Between the U.S. and Mexico. I had
no idea.
Most of them
are in vacation destinations. It's the kitschy theme. It's like a Carlos and Charlie's. It's like a Dick's Last Resort.
I had no idea. None. So I was like, oh, I thought that was just a Vegas thing. So shows how little I pay attention to that. I was a little surprised that, Mark, that you said alarmingly missing off from the dirtiest casinos was El Cortez. I think that we may need to bifurcate the hotel aspect from the casino aspect.
Right.
Because I would not consider the Flamingo Casino to be dirty. I would consider the hotel to be an absolute trash hole.
Yeah.
Only
Absolutely.
based on what we all experienced at this most recent 360 Vegas Vacation cocktail
in
event.
their
Right.
suite.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't consider the El Cortez to be a quote unquote dirty casino.
Well, and we've stayed in their cabana suite or their cabana rooms, and they're beautiful.
So I've been told. I've known a fair number of folks that have stayed in the cabana suites and have really, really liked those rooms. I wonder to what degree people are connoting dirty with just old. Because, for example, I concur with you, Karen, that Golden Gate probably does not belong on this dirtiest casino list. Certainly not by the casino standard. And I don't even think by the room standard, unless you consider tiny and not been refreshed since it was built in 1940
Right.
to be dirty. Now, is it authentic? Absolutely. But you know what, folks? You should know what you're getting if you're paying $12 a night for an El Cortez or Golden Gate basic room. So, I don't know. I guess Circus I can understand. Oyo, I can somewhat understand. I don't know. I think I've stepped into Silver Sevens one time, and that's when it was still
It was terrible.
Terribles. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went through the casino one time when it was
I've been in it
Terribles.
once and
God,
it was
I forgot
terrible.
that Terribles used to have a casino.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
I don't know, because I've never stayed at Excalibur, or Park MGM or Four Queens. I can't
I don't think
really
Excalibur's that bad. I know
It's
they
not.
give it a hard time, but I don't
It's
think
not. It's a
Excalibur's
little
that
run
bad.
down, but it's not.
Yeah.
I had a room there. It was not dirty.
Yeah,
It was
decent
not
rooms.
nice, but it was not dirty.
Right, yeah.
And I bet you the Rio being on this list was
I
pre-selling
would have
No
to
doubt.
the
agree.
owners
100%.
No doubt.
Yeah.
what they're doing. So that's their Plaza. I also have to think that, well, no, hold on.
There's something about Plaza that
So the first time we stayed at Plaza was pre-renovation.
Okay.
And I will tell you, it is the
Oh.
worst. It was the worst place. I did not want to take my shoes off. I didn't want to get under the covers. I didn't want to stay on the covers. It was bad. It was bad. And we stayed there. We had one of their cabana rooms this last time, and it was fine,
had a weird smell.
but it had a weird smell, and it already looked dated.
It looked run down. Yeah.
Which, they got the original Fontainebleau decor package when they did their renovation,
Right.
which would make you think, and that was, okay, granted, that was a while ago. What was it? 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
It's a while ago.
But
I don't remember when
it-
Icon liquidated, but
it looked tired to me. I didn't think it was dated, but I thought it was tired. So Plaza, again, when we stayed there was pre-renovation, so that one might be dirty again. I don't know.
Well. All right, moving on. Ooh. Yay, law. Excalibur had a wrongful death lawsuit.
If it has to do with death, Tony doesn't care. But if it's death
Right.
with law involved,
Law.
he's
Right.
like,
That's
yay.
right.
paying attention now.
Yeah.
a family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Excalibur following a pool incident in which a man slipped on the pool steps and struck his head. The suit alleges the lifeguards and pool staff failed to take immediate and proper action, and that led to the victim's death. They are ultimately looking for, quote, damages exceeding $15,000 plus compensation for funeral expenses, legal fees, and other related costs. What are you going to do, man? I mean, somebody slips in a pool and smacks their head on the ground. And what are you going to do?
So again, I'm jumping on Tony's thing here. It seems to me the basis of the claim is that you have these lifeguards and people on duty that didn't render aid and didn't help timely.
Mhm.
And if they had, the poor man might not have died. So it's a pool area. There's signs up all over the place, no running, careful, slip and falls. They've got all those disclaimer, those big, placards all over there
Right.
listing that. So if it seems like what they're saying here is not, that he fell,
That nobody
it's
responded
that
to
he
help
fell,
him.
but you didn't help. You didn't do anything.
Yeah, you got all these lifeguards around, like going, "Come on, you're supposed to be able to do something."
Well, and I'll be honest, what they're asking for doesn't seem like a lot to me.
No, I thought it
Yeah.
was reasonable.
The chat's kind of echoing a whole lot of that as well. But if you think about it, That's like 300 nights at the Strat or at Excalibur. So, it would take them a little while to make that. So,
So it's interesting. I have not read the article yet that Mark has linked to here, but you do have here as one of your bullet points. The suit alleges that lifeguards and pool staff failed to take immediate and proper action that led to the victim's death. When we do, I say we, for personal injury attorneys, when they bring these sorts of lawsuits, what you're doing effectively is you get to play armchair quarterback to some extent. To what degree should they have done what they didn't do, right? And you always get to look back at it with 20/20 vision. And so they're going to have to determine, well, what actions did the lifeguard and pool staff not take? What does it mean to fail to take immediate and proper action?
Right. What's proper action?
Right. Did they see the guy fall and they go, dude, you cool? Yeah. You're just hanging out, laying there for a second? Okay, that's fine, right? Like, what does immediate and proper action take? Now, one of the things that intrigued me about this is most, and maybe Vegas is a little different, but so many times when you're staying at hotels, the only placard that you ever see in the pool area is no lifeguard on duty. Don't be a dumbass.
Right.
And so that's an interesting situation, because when you've got lifeguard and pool staff there, then there's a certain expectation that the staff is going to be more tentative to the swimmer's needs than if there's just nobody there. And isn't that kind of a screwed up way to look at it, that you almost have more protection by not having staff on hand? Yeah. Because if the guy slips and falls and hits his head, and there's a sign that says no lifeguard on duty, swim at your own risk, right, then that's what you fall back on in your lawsuit as the defendant, and you just point to the placard.
Right.
Now you got to argue whether or not the actions that the lifeguard and the pool staff took, was that a reasonable person, did what the lifeguard and pool staff do, is that what a reasonable lifeguard and pool staff person should do, based on whatever it was that they did for this injured individual.
And
I think the problem is, I'm sorry, Karen, go ahead.
Go ahead, Josh.
I'll say, I think the problem is not what the lifeguards did or didn't do. It was when they stopped and they pointed and they laughed at the guy after he fell down.
They pulled his, they looked under his underpants. Woo!
They're pulling their
must be cold water in that pool today, kids.
That's right.
So
yes, Karen. Is that I can guarantee you there are cameras that captured this situation.
Yeah, probably.
Because if you are anywhere on a casino property, back of house, front of house, if there are people there are cameras involved. Right. Now, they may not be the clearest cameras, but there are cameras involved. So they will have some idea of when the guy fell, who did what, when. Right. Well, again, they're not arguing the fact that he fell. They're arguing he didn't get help.
Right.
So there will be evidence of what aid was rendered when their interactions with the staff.
I just think of the lifeguard running up and they're like starting to Google like how to help someone.
how to do mouth to mouth and CPR. That's awesome. All right. I think that's going to do it for news. Let's roll into prop bets. For those of you unfamiliar, prop bets is an extension of the news, but with just bits and pieces of noteworthy items. Prop Bets is brought to you by Moonshot.com. Get vintage Vegas shirts for 25% off when you use the code 360VG. That's good for now until December 10th. All right, first up, Vital Vegas is reporting that the Hush Puppy will take over the space formerly home to our beloved Banger Brewing. Plans are to open in early 2025.
I don't know why that stings.
So here's the thing. So the Hush Puppy is a very famous restaurant in Las Vegas. It's been here for something like 50 years.
Isn't that the one down the road?
Yeah, it's on
it's huge.
It's gigantic.
Yeah.
It's absolutely gigantic. They even have a drive-through. We've never been. I've wanted to try it. The fact that that's now what's going into this space. Again, Banger Brewing is already gone. I don't want to see
it's not coming back.
Space,
yeah.
I'm excited that this is what's going in there.
Really?
And I think with the foot traffic, it's going to do really, really well.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm excited about this one.
The Killers are performing at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace Wednesday, Friday and Saturday, January 22nd, 24th, and 25th. Shows start at 8 p.m. Tickets start at Mystery.
I thought they have a residency there now, don't they?
They do, but the ticket prices weren't available.
Okay, well, their residency is longer than 3 dates.
Well, this
But I
was
think they
apparently
added
an
new
add-on
dates.
to it.
Yes.
Oh, they
The
did.
residency had
Yes.
ended, and they have now added on additional shows.
Good for them.
Yeah, agreed.
Good for them.
Hey, they're Vegas locals and they get a residency in Vegas. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
I didn't know the Killers were Vegas locals.
Yes.
They are. It's being reported that last year's F1 generated a net economic impact of 1.5 billion, making it the most lucrative event in the city's history. Unfortunately, this year's event is not expected to surpass that number. And I would agree with that based on what we're seeing.
It was lack of hype. Like, it was the last time, it was like, man, oh my God, we're doing Vegas for the first time. Holy shit. Now it's like, yeah, we're doing Vegas.
It's not just lack of hype, it's a reality check in a lot of ways, that what they thought, yes, year one, it's brand new, what's it going to be? And now people are like, oh, okay, been there, done that. Try it again.
Yeah. I mean, they're selling tickets.
At a discounted price. I got a ticket package.
Maybe they're not sold
offer.
out. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, they're not sold out. I got a ticket package offer from Fountain Blue.
Well, I got from properties. I got all kind of
Oh, yeah.
offers.
They haven't sold out. You can still buy tickets. I mean, granted, the tickets are, and it's crazy because if you look at the weather this weekend, so they're a minimum of $500 to sit in a grandstand. And temperatures are only supposed to be maybe in the low 40s at the time that the races are running. Like, it's just insane. The whole thing's insane.
I just logged into my MGM account to see what I can get a room for tomorrow. And let's see, Nomad is $266 a night tomorrow. Luxor $288. So high, for those properties a little bit. Although Nomad, I would argue, is actually kind of mid-range.
Yeah, it is.
But
it is
still
cool.
not
Yeah.
the stuff we were seeing last year.
But you have to remember though, where the race runs, it ends at Harmon.
Oh yeah.
So the Caesars properties is really just, and they're lucky now they have Cosmo. Aria, I don't know how much you can see from your window at Aria when they make that turn, but the rest of the MGM properties are outside of it.
But last year it was like a premium just to be in town for this thing, and it doesn't seem like that's there this time.
No. To me, it's very similar to when the Golden Knights first got here. Like there was just an excitement that, like, oh my God, the fucking Golden Knights are here, and then it became, okay, the Golden Knights are here. It's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just it doesn't have the new shininess to it that makes you excited.
Yeah, but the Knights still sell out. So
yeah,
fair enough. Fair enough. Clark County commissioners are considering a possible increase to sales tax. Clark County already is one of the highest sales tax rates in the country.
So what is happening to all this casino tax revenue that they're supposedly getting?
I don't know.
Well, and I think the hardest part about, frankly, I think about you guys having to pay this. I mean, I can come in and sure, you're going to nickel and dime me on maybe my hotel or my room or whatever I'm spending my money on. But I only come in for a few days at a time, a couple times a year. You guys live here. I mean, they increase the sales tax. That's more on you folks than it is on us tourists.
What is your sales tax rate, Tony and Josh?
5%.
8.5.
8.375. We're higher than California.
Nice.
Fuck, are you kidding me?
Right.
Misbehaves Mavericks is doing so bad at Plaza that they are giving away tickets to, quote, any employee on the Strip or the resort corridor who has experienced a loss of hours or shifts due to race-related closures. Wow,
you got a lot of hoops you got to jump through to get that thing too.
So hold on. So I don't know that it's doing that bad versus they're
doing anything to get attention is what they're doing.
They know that this week is slow as fuck.
Right.
Even downtown. Last year downtown, it was dead, which makes no sense because the race wasn't down there. It didn't affect downtown at all.
I know, right? That's one of the problems with all the ne'er-do-wellers that were were speaking doomsday about all this. It's like you got to understand, like there's certain areas that aren't even impacted whatsoever.
Well, and so I think that what they're trying to do is they're like, look, we know it's going to A, be slow for us. B, there's
AB slow.
A,
AB slow.
So,
AB slow.
A, it will
Got
be
it.
slow for us. Is that better? Do I
Thank
need
you.
to get the whole sentence in there?
ABS always be selling.
Let's go with 1. It'll be slow.
Eric Anderson stated that no sales tax. So there's that.
No state income tax.
Yeah,
no state income tax.
That
Yeah,
is
that's true. That's
That's
true.
a fair,
That's I do
that's
forget
a
about
fair trade-off.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then we only get taxed when we actually
Listen,
buy
listen
shit.
to us whine.
All right, that's true.
First world problems.
But 1, it's going to be slow downtown. And 2, you've got people that might not have seen the show or in the new venue that have nothing to do. So let's get them in. Let's just fill in the seats because then they're going to buy shit at the bar, right? So
And sorry to jump in there on this. I'm thinking if you get all these people around town who deal with tourists on a day-to-day basis, and if any of them are impressed, they're going to talk about it.
industry.
So it's a good time for that kind of move, right? You wouldn't want to do that when those people would be taking tourist seats.
Yeah.
But since tourism's low, that's a great time to kind of try to get some buzz going with industry people.
So this is me arguing against Mark's statement that they're doing so
They're
bad.
doing bad. I took a dig at them.
Just because you didn't like the show, there was promise there, and I haven't seen it yet. Again,
I
and
haven't seen
you
it yet.
know,
There's promise.
Yeah. I think you're overly like you're almost
hey, I've
overcompensating for.
I have said what was wrong with it. I just think that when someone's giving away free tickets to especially folks in the industry, it's not necessarily always a bad thing. And Josh brought up a side of it that I hadn't even considered. The other thing is that, downtown Fremont corridor is doing the Neon City Festival this weekend
Right.
with
So that'll be
a
packed.
gazillion performers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Most of which actually, no, that's not true. They've added.
Do you imagine what that's going to be like? Do you think it's going to be a ghost town?
No, I don't think so. Well, honestly, the one stage, the one night has Lit, Filter, and a few other bands that I actually have heard of.
Yeah,
That I was like,
I would totally see Lit.
okay, I would totally. Well, and the beauty of it is, Mark, we can park at my office and walk down there
Well, there you go.
for free, which makes total sense. So maybe
Wow. So we
maybe
mocked
we will
the
go do that
Neon
this
City
weekend.
Festival. Now we're talking about doing it.
wanted to do well because again, it made no sense that downtown was dead last year, and I love that.
I blame Vital Vegas 100%.
Him among others. I love
Yeah.
that downtown is getting together and not just the Fremont Street experience, but
Yeah,
everybody.
Josh. No, it's not Josh. It's what somebody does Vegas. What's his name?
Oh, Jacob's Life in Vegas.
Jacob's Life in
Jacob's Life.
Vegas. That's another.
Yeah, he was shitting on it a lot too. I want to point out somebody in the chat actually pointed out Cosmo Kramer in the chat. Jerry pointed out that there is a Raiders home game this weekend, and so that also explains some of the higher prices South
Oh,
Strip as well.
Right.
Yeah,
So
Right.
we're playing the
and
Broncos, which is
yeah, so
as
can you imagine if you were a
Super
Broncos
rivalry.
fan coming in this weekend? You're like, what the fuck is going on?
no, I will say that any NFL weekend, anytime there's a game here, the
Oh
rates.
yeah,
So I don't. My
Right.
guess is those rates are going to be comparable to your typical NFL weekend rates.
Oh wow. So you don't think there's any F1
No.
bump?
I don't think there is. They're getting no bump from F1 at all.
Okay.
Trust me, they're getting no bump down there from F1 at all.
Okay.
the 500 by Midnight podcast is reporting that Chilongo's Tacos is coming to the Grand Bazaar shops at Horseshoe. The restaurant has 5 locations in Texas and Tennessee.
I wonder
Okay.
where in Tennessee because I've never heard of them.
No, I was going to ask if you had heard of him.
Nope, that's a new one. It's being reported that the Bellagio Fountain Club seats that run $12,500 a piece sold out for F1, confirming what we already knew, which is that F1 is a rich person sport.
Oh.
$12,500 for a
Is that
seat.
grandstand?
Yeah, the one out in front of Bellagio.
Which, again, where you're sitting, they're gonna go.
Meow.
"Meow." That's all you're gonna see.
I think you're paying for the experience.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Country singer Jason Aldean announced he is opening his 2-story, 22,000 square foot restaurant and live music venue in between the Crystals and Cosmopolitan Walkway on December 5th. If the concept sounds familiar, it's because it's Old Red at Horseshoe did it first. This is just MGM's version of the same idea.
And what is it called?
I don't know exactly what it's called. It's Jason Aldean's place. I think it's just Jason Aldean.
New Blue.
New Blue.
So I gotta jump in here. Low and Slow in the chat said the Venn diagram of F1 attendees and Raiders fan doesn't have a lot of overlap.
That's true. But again, remember, it's not the Raiders fans. It's whoever the visiting team's fans are.
Oh, absolutely.
That's true.
Right.
Absolutely.
Which is Denver, which still might not have a lot of overlap, but definitely not the Raiders fans.
No.
Grand Prix Plaza, grown up for go-karts. Nope, that's not what the words say. Grand Prix Plaza, grown up go-karts, is coming to Vegas in spring of 2025 and is incorporated into the Paddock building. Renderings are available at grandprixplaza.com, but details like hours of operation, food, and pricing is not yet available.
This looks really cool.
Yeah.
This
I
looks
mean,
like a future Vegas vacation.
Vegas Vacation 15 is kind of what I'm
Really?
thinking here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks really
I
cool.
thought you were so anti F1 anything that you would have no
I'm
interest
not anti F1. When did you get that? I just
You
don't
just
like
said I'm
I don't like the
anti-F1.
traffic that you got to deal
Mhm.
with, but what'd you say?
Huh. I said, well, I mean, you did just say I'm anti F1 3 minutes ago. No, I'm just that was jumping. Where'd you get that from? Well, let me go back and check the video.
Check the tape, please.
It's not funny.
Right.
Wah, wah.
Vital Vegas is reporting that Rio has officially joined the Destination by Hyatt brand.
I assume that's a big brand. I don't know a ton about Hyatt. No? You don't know anything about Hyatt?
We don't have a points and miles person on this
No.
the show at the moment. Oh, I get a Sin City Alerts one. Yay. Sin City Alerts reports a strip casino security was responding to let's try that again. Sin City Alert reports strip casino security responding to a subject complaining that quote unsavory prostitutes unquote
My band in high school.
were loitering on the sidewalk near the main entrance and the subject would like to have them removed.
I just love the idea of this guy going to security, like going, there are prostitutes out there.
Did you know they're
No, not just prostitutes.
Unsavory.
Unsavory
yes.
prostitutes.
They were safe. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
have
I know,
no
right?
problem with
Exactly.
it whatsoever.
Listen, I'm
Yeah.
reasonable.
Right.
I'm reasonable. If they were
Yeah.
only savory.
I could, yeah. Security's like, oh, we only have high class prostitutes. Let's get them
Yeah.
out of here.
Listen.
I'd say security is gonna be like, sir, the savior ones are on the inside.
Right.
The unsavory.
The savior ones.
Oh, Jesus.
That's
Jake-
what makes them savior prostitutes. apparently. We
Jake
call them Mary
Balvin.
Magdalene. All right, please go. Please go. Please go.
Jay Balvin is performing at the Michelob Ultra Arena at Mandalay Bay Saturday, May 3rd. Show starts at 8 p.m. Tickets start at $81.
Little voice crack there. What just happened?
I got interrupted like 4 times, so I
Oh, you should say now you know what it feels like, Mark.
Now you know what it feels like, Mark. Mark. Sorry.
Ooh, see,
I don't know,
mind.
Margot.
I think that's very playful. I'm like, oh, she's up for a little set.
Feisty.
Yeah.
It's being reported that Raiders owner Mark Davis is looking to sell off another 15% of the team. He still maintains controlling interest in the team.
I thought he did. I thought he had an agreement with somebody.
I thought
He
that.
did. They were boring people, so I didn't.
So there is an agreement.
Right. Yeah. He's got specifically two people. He's split in 7.5 with two people, but who they are is boring.
All right. I feel like mine is just words thrown into a blender here. Millennium Tour featuring Trey Songs, Bow Wow, Rick Ross, Yin Yang Twins, and more are performing at the MGM Grand Garden Arena Friday, April 25th. Shows start at 8 p.m. Tickets start at your guess is as good as mine.
I actually know all those people.
Right.
Apparently Josh doesn't. Okay.
No.
The Neon Museum is hoping to get a $2.1 million grant to help
So am
reload.
I.
Do you have a purpose designed for yours yet?
Yes. I
I
can't
don't
say
want
it
to know.
out loud.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But the Neo Museum is hoping it will help them relocate the La Concha lobby to the new location in the Arts District. Can I tell you, this thing is literally like 2 blocks from my office
No,
where they're looking to put it. It's
that's
right
cool.
there. It'd be awesome.
That's cool, especially having a season pass or whatever you call it with them.
The annual
That'd be something
membership.
really cool, like on oh hey, oh yeah, I'm just I gotta finish up here. Like, all right, I'm gonna run over there.
Yeah,
I saw some of their renderings, and they want to put it like on the boneyard's going to be on top of a building several stories
Right.
It's
high.
on a
So
parking garage. So they're going to build a parking garage, and the top 2 floors of it are going to be the boneyard. Now,
yeah,
that's the one location. There is a secondary location that I think is a street or 2 over.
okay.
So they have 2 different parcels that they're looking at, but that main one with the parking garage.
I just think that's gonna be such a huge bump for the
Yes.
for the local people
Oh,
for
yeah.
the craft breweries and stuff like that. That's gonna be huge.
Well, and not only that, but for the Neon Museum, like people headed, from the strip to downtown or vice versa or something, like seeing this glow up high, like
Yeah.
what's that?
The
And so it's going to
visibility.
draw a lot more
Yeah.
people in. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, we were the last 2 days I've driven through the Arts District. There is so much shit under construction down there. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
that's
And
good.
it's,
Cool.
I mean, there's restaurants opening with patios. There's new store. There's more breweries. There's a caviar shop that opened, which I'm so
Oh,
excited
hell.
about. Yeah, we went to actually stop. We played a little. We had like a liquid lunch at work today, and kind of wandered down that way. And of course, we got there at like 2:02 p.m. and they close at 2 o'clock.
Oh, jeez.
So we missed them by that much. But yeah, no, there's so much. I am so excited about what's going on in the Arts District. There's
Yeah.
actually like right across the street from our building, they are converting the building into like 5-story condos with like
Wow.
it's going to be U-shaped with a courtyard in the middle, and like the renderings of this thing are really fucking cool. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
aside from a grocery store and parking,
Yeah.
this would be, but there's so much happening in the Arts District. It's so much fun. So
Yeah.
much fun.
And Mark, Phil in the chat just wants you to know that Tom Brady is not boring.
Okay.
So apparently, for those not to know, Tom Brady is one of the people buying part of that 15% of the Raiders.
No. He already
No,
got.
he already got
Tom
his.
Brady already got
okay.
his 10%, isn't
Yeah.
it? 10%?
So he's not one of the people getting the new chunk
Oh,
that's
he's
for
not
sale.
getting a chunk. He already
Yeah,
got
Okay.
his.
yeah, he already got his. This is 2 other people that are boring.
All right.
That's you, Mark.
I know. I'm looking. I'm trying to catch up. This week, the Golden Knights unveiled Las Vegas Grand Prix edition jerseys, only available in Vegas. They were pretty sharp. They've got some. I mean, it's only a slight color change, and they outlined it in feather leaf or whatever that's called.
It's a good blend of, like a racing jacket and
Yeah.
a jersey. The one you tagged me in on 2 of them, and one of them, the logo, the Knights logo, was covered in actual sequins, and I was like,
Right.
no, thank you.
Right.
Papa Roach and Rise Against are performing at the MGM Grand Garden Arena Saturday, April 5th. Show starts at 7 p.m. and tickets start at $56.
And what are they rising against, Tony?
Apparently not the machine. Like I thought they were.
Because I was like, how do we bring that in? So again, before we started, Tony, a lot of times we'll go through and tell me like, I have a question on this note or that note. And he's like, are you sure that was supposed to be Rise Against? Isn't there more to it? There's Rise Against something. And Mark's like, no. And I was like, Tony, you're thinking of Rage Against the Machine. And that was who he was thinking of, which I give him credit for even thinking of that.
Right.
Impressive. Impressed, Tony.
Drew Hill is performing at the House of Blues at Mandalay Bay Sunday, January 19th. Show starts at 8 p.m. Tickets start at $68. That's when I do you, and then I owe you one.
No. I was like, Drew Hill?
That was 68.
And lastly, nearly 60 assholes were arrested this week after they sat on the road and blocked traffic on Paradise and harassed people who attempted to patronize the Virgin Hotel and Casino.
I fucking hate when unions strike. I fucking hate it
Oh,
so
they're
much.
so obnoxiously annoying.
It's I told you that like the one time I almost got into a fist fight in Vegas was when they were
Outside of Cosmo.
and a guy got right in my face and I'm like, get the fuck out of my face. You know, like
And they'll do it. They'll come right up to the edge just to push you so that you
so then
go
you're
after
the
them
asshole
first.
for actually responding.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Now, most of those things where when they get arrested, aren't those usually kind of prearranged? Like
Yeah.
the union's calling in saying,
Like
"Hey,
you
we're gonna
get
have people
arrested.
doing this. Come arrest them," and then they'll call the media so they keep the strike in the news and everything.
Right.
Right. And so the
Yeah.
media knows when to come because that's when the arrests are going to happen. Oh, it's such a everybody's.
So contrived.
Yeah. The whole thing's just.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for news and prop bets. Let's check the river. Letting everybody on the chat play the music in their head. Like the 5 communal cards you get in a game of Texas Hold'em, the river can have anything turn up. So is our river segment. And this week we have a 360 FHE. This is our opportunity to go out and explore the ever-changing landscape of Las Vegas and share that experience with you. This week, you went out and explored Walk-Ons at Harrah's. Tell us about your firsthand experience.
First off, it is a terrible location. It's where Toby Keith's used to be in Harrah's.
You have to go
it's
up the
way back there.
escalators to get there, and it's kind of down this hallway by itself. So it's not. I mean, you think about most restaurant locations, right? You want to be off the casino floor or
Right,
the other.
right.
No, this is, and it's not even the escalators that are closest to the front that only take you up to.
No, it's the other set of escalators.
Yeah, there's the second set of escalators that take you
That's
up to the floor where there's nothing.
Sounds like a Vegas vacation when she's
Right. You don't want those elevators.
Not those. You want to keep going.
Those are good elevators. And so yeah, the location is terrible.
Yeah.
But they do have signage. So at the bottom of those escalators, it does say Walk-Ons pointing up.
Right.
And I was excited to try this because Walk-Ons is actually a Louisiana-based restaurant chain. I forget exactly the story of who tried it, but it's a bar, grill, sports bar kind of thing.
It's got Louisiana shit on it, like alligator and stuff like that.
And a lot of they've got etouffee and red beans and rice and pick all your typical Cajun dishes. They have that. Drew Brees, the NFL quarterback, former NFL quarterback, is part owner of the company. So for me, this was like a little taste of New Orleans that I was super excited to try because I miss that city so much. What did you think of what you got, Mark? What did you get, Mark?
I enjoyed it. I got a blackened chicken sandwich.
Mhm.
It had bacon on it and shit. I thought it was really good, although I was just not hungry. So I only ended up eating like a third of that.
Well, but
I brought it home and ate it.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's a testament to how good it was.
And we went with our dear friends Brian and Tanya.
Yeah.
Brian did order the alligator bites, which were, I mean, alligator itself doesn't have a ton of flavor. So, but they were breaded and deep fried, and whatever the sauce, what the dipping sauce that they came in was delicious. So the texture was good. They weren't chewy. The sauce was delicious. There was a little bit of heat on the back end. And then Tanya got a fettuccine Alfredo with a blackened chicken breast on it, and she asked it for it to be lightly blackened. She did say that in general, the Alfredo sauce had no flavor to it whatsoever, which I kind of said, well, maybe you should have gone a little more heavily blackened on the chicken if it had a little more there. I ended up just getting a burger. But what I wanted to get, so I substituted my side for the red beans and rice, which is, a New Orleans classic dish that I have missed greatly. The burger was fine. It was kind of a smashed burger kind of thing. The red beans and rice were good. I wish it would have been a little more rice to beans ratio. But I did bring the leftovers of that home. Did you eat that, or is it still down there?
The rest of what?
The red beans and rice?
No, I didn't touch that.
Sweet. All right. I know what I have. But that was really good. It's unfortunate they weren't busy. It was a Monday night, so Monday Night Football was on, and if it's a sports bar, you would want it to be busy.
Yeah.
Again, it could be because it's F1 week that there's just nobody there. They have a terrible location. Our waitress was amazingly friendly. Mark was wearing a Columbus Blue Jackets jersey, And she immediately started talking to him about hockey because apparently her son plays hockey. And, so just, she was great. She wasn't annoying. She was just, wanting to talk about, because somebody's wearing a jersey, you'd assume that he knows a crap load about the team, which Mark doesn't because he really doesn't pay attention anymore.
Yeah.
To them. But no, the space was great. It was big.
I have hockey jerseys that are meant to I don't know the words I'm looking for. I get hockey jerseys based on the cities that I've been to, that I visited, or so I don't necessarily know anything about the teams. But
we were living in Columbus when they got the Blue Jackets,
right?
So that was kind of a big deal. It was the first professional sports team in Columbus, kind of similar to Vegas being the first. Hockey might be like a forerunner into how you get professional sports.
Oh, that is what hockey does. Hockey goes into, and that's why you got
new markets,
yeah, all these other smaller markets that hockey knows that if they go into.
We used to go to when they only had the minor league team in Columbus. We would go the Columbus Chill.
Right.
Remember them way back in the day. We would go to the minor league games all the time.
Is just fun in general.
It is. But then we would go to the Blue Jackets quite often, usually because I got the corporate tickets, which was nice.
Right.
So no, but we're hockey fans. It's kind of there. You love it. Do we follow them now? No, absolutely not. But I don't want
Karen, is there a place like on the strip to get good, like New Orleans style or Cajun style food?
Not on the strip.
Okay.
There is a place. Oh fuck, what's it called? All right, hold on. I gotta look it up. There is a place. It's on. No, it's on. They got a couple locations actually. The one that I'm thinking of, actually, that one's not there anymore.
I would say we would move on while you look it up, but you have to do the next one.
All right, I'll do the next one and then we can move on.
Yeah.
I'll probably mess up trivia. I don't know what trivia
Because
is.
honestly, I would say that this place sounds great, but you got to go to Orleans to go there. So
yeah.
Well, no, it's at Harris.
no, Walk-Ons though, wasn't that at Orleans?
Oh, it's
No,
at
it's at
Harris.
Harris.
Oh, okay. I don't know how I got Orleans.
Because it's in New Orleans.
Because
it's New Orleans inspired food.
Because it seems like it would be a logical place to put it.
Right, exactly.
Right. So somehow I made a small leap. So okay, so hey, I might check this out then.
All right. Let's roll into listener feedback. We got an email from Andy. So what did Andy share with us, Karen?
So Andy writes, "Hi, Mark and Karen and Tony. I'm from Michigan. Go
Fuck
Blue."
you, Andy.
And Josh, it's gonna take them a while to get used to the fact that you keep turning up
Yeah,
like a bad penny. I'm kidding.
that's right.
I'm kidding.
Bad penny.
I'm from Michigan and I'm planning a trip soonish. I've stayed on the strip. I've stayed downtown, both multiple times. So my question is, where would you recommend for a locals joint with good gambling and value for your money that I should stay at? Are there certain ones that aren't too far from the strip / downtown and maybe have a few properties nearby? Thanks, Andy.
That's a tough question.
It really is.
Want to give your 2 cents while I'm
Yeah. Boulder Highway comes to mind. The Red Rock area has a few. North Las Vegas has a few, but I personally think Red Rock is the best. The only problem is that their room rates are usually expensive, but it is a good gamble and it's a great property. It's very cosmopolitan-esque and it's aesthetic and in price. So you can get a benchmark just from that. The value is that what I'm having trouble with. I can't get over how expensive locals casinos can be.
Sure. So I guess he says here, because Red Rock would have been my answer as well, Mark, except he's got this sentence here. Are there certain ones that aren't too far from the strip / downtown and maybe have a few properties nearby?
Yeah.
And that's where you're going to run
That's
into
tough.
problems, Andy. They're all going to be these kind of one-off solo.
Right.
Maybe Palace Station, right? Or maybe Ellis Island.
I would recommend he consider Palms. Why not stay at Palms? It's nice.
Oh,
He can hit Rio and Gold Coast right there.
Yeah.
So when he says that there's have a few properties nearby, does he mean a few related properties or he just wants the options of properties?
I think he wants the option.
Okay, so if he's looking for the options of properties, I would say, the Palms is probably a good one because you have Rio there that's now independent, or hell, even try Rio at this point.
That's what I was going to say is flip that around because he
Yeah.
also says good value for your money. And right now, one
Rio
of the
right
best
now.
values in Vegas is Rio. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, if you were looking for a locals, you're probably looking at a stations property. But they don't have a lot of options.
They're all
nearby.
intentionally dropped in the
And-
middle of places where nothing else is around.
because if they cater to locals, you want to be where the locals are, and you don't
Right.
want a lot of your properties right next to locals. So if you think about it, now they have Red Rock in the northwest, they have now Durango in the southwest, they have Green Valley in the southeast,
yeah,
and then a few others scattered in there. So I mean, if you're looking for a true locals, now I will say if you have stayed downtown, consider a Boyd's property, which I think is Suncoast. No, help me out, Mark. Between Rampart and Suncoast, one of them is owned by Boyd.
Suncoast.
Suncoast.
So maybe if you've already stayed downtown and you've stayed at a Boyd's property, maybe consider going to Suncoast because you might get some bounce back there. And at Suncoast, you have right next to it, you have Rampart. So
What
at
if-
least you got two there.
Something else about downtown, like he says he's been downtown. Like I wonder if he's ventured out to California or Main Street Station, because those are two that I would highly
right.
Your Boyd
100%.
property.
Or downtown
God, I love that
Grand.
place.
downtown
And-
Grand.
and Sky on the Rocks aptly points out in chat that part of that Palms Rio is Gold Coast, and Gold Coast is really more of a locals place too. So, maybe stay at Palms, get, a room that's
And
not so
another Boyd
sketchy
property.
these days, and go over to Gold Coast and do some gaming there. So,
yeah, definitely.
So that
It's pretty cool to watch the feedback of what people here in the chat are saying, because so
Yes.
many folks are mirroring what's being said. And the best part is there's a little bit of a lag, so it's kind of fun to get to see them repeating, unbeknownst to them,
Right.
repeating what we're giving is
Right.
answers. So Sky on the Rocks came up with the Palms Rio Gold Coast that I recommended, and Phil is hammering on the Cal and Main Street Station
and
location.
downtown Ground.
That's
Yeah.
pretty funny. That's pretty funny. But
well, but the thing is, he said the thing with the Cal and Main Street is he said he stayed downtown. He wants to
Right.
do something else.
I think he
Right.
wants to do something off the perhaps
Right.
touristy beaten path.
So I would say closest to the strip, like we've talked about, is going to be stay at either Rio, which is offering deals, or Palms, which is, a beautiful property. And you've got Gold Coast, you've got those three right there, right?
Mhm.
The flip side of that, I do think is going to be Rampart if he's associated with, Suncoast if you're associated with Boyd already, because you have Rampart there, and quite honestly, Red Rock is not that far away.
Right.
So that
But
would
that's
be
still a half an
another-
hour from the strip.
Yeah.
right. It's not close.
Sure.
Yeah.
But-
I think, Andy, if you're going to do this, you're just going to have to say, I'm either not going to make it to the strip on this particular trip, or I'm going to have to, I'm going to Uber down for a day, or you're going to maybe have to break up your trip, right? Maybe you do 2 nights pick one of these places that we've been talking about, and then do another 2 nights on the strip or downtown. Otherwise, you're not
Durango,
gonna-
I'd recommend because it's only like 15 minutes away, but it's still.
But there's nothing else around it.
You're
There's
right.
nothing- yeah.
And
Yeah.
quite honestly, if you go to Suncoast, it's a 20-minute Uber ride during the day max to get down to the strip, less than that to get to downtown.
Yeah.
So it's not that far. You could get downtown very easily or the strip and see those places. So, but those would be clusters. If you're looking for something for multiple spots, that's going to be it.
Yep.
And the restaurant that I was thinking of that does offer New Orleans Cajun Creole style food is called Lola's here in town, and they do have a couple locations. And if you're looking for more authentic New Orleans food, that's going to be it.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. Let's roll into 360 Vegas trivia. This is our opportunity to share our knowledge of Las Vegas history while allowing you to test your skill while you play along at home.
And this week we have Ocean's 11, the remake trivia.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I was expecting more deep track like we got last week.
No.
Oh,
We
this is not
finished
good.
we finished those up. Now
Thank
it's
God.
time for our
Fun ones.
well, thank you.
What did Milton
Oh,
Prell
ouch.
have for dinner on February 18th?
All right, here we go.
All right, here we
How
go.
many items did Daniel have returned to him upon his release from prison?
3.
No,
Don't ask me to name them.
less.
No. He had his wedding ring and one other thing.
I think it was just the wedding ring, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just the
He
wedding.
just opens it up. He kind of
Yep,
And it
tips
slipped
it.
just wedding
The
ring.
only thing that falls out is the wedding
Yeah.
ring.
You're right.
Who was the first member of the team Daniel visited after being released from prison?
Frank.
Oh, Bernie Mac.
Frank.
Yes, good,
Yeah.
good.
Frank
Golly,
Catton.
well done. You remember
Ramon.
the character's name.
Ramon.
There you go. That was my next question. What was Frank's name used to get a job in Atlantic City? What property in Atlantic City is Frank working at?
Oh fuck, these
Is it
are
Bally's?
deep.
No, it's not Bally's.
Because he tells him to go to a different one.
It's not there anymore.
He's talking on the phone, and there's Trump Plaza in the background, I think,
Yep, that's it.
but
Oh,
I
is that
don't
where it
know that's
was?
necessarily where he was.
So it's assumed that's where he's working. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, based on the aesthetic of the place, it was the
The
okay,
truck.
yeah, because I've been in there before
okay,
A
never
long
been.
time.
a long time ago, but it was memorable. How many hands of blackjack were dealt to Daniel before Ramon taps his deal out?
1.
One.
That's right. That's right. Just one hand. According to Ramon's name tag, what city is he from?
Oh, that. I
Oh
don't-
shit.
I don't know. No clue.
We lived there.
Chicago.
Yep.
Oh,
Chicago,
good
Illinois.
guess, Tony.
Yep.
Well done.
Where does Ramon direct Daniel to play after the table goes cold?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask that
I
question.
did too, and I've been
He-
thinking
he-
about it because I'm like, I know
You
that's
can-
gonna come.
you can meet him at the cafe or something. I thought
The
No,
was
lounge
no.
at the Caesars
Yes, that's it.
Thank you.
Oh,
Meet at the
shit.
lounge at Caesars.
Nice one.
That's right.
gets pretty
Oh.
busy after 6.
That's right. That's right. What was Rusty doing for money with while Daniel was in
Teaching
prison?
He
celebrities
was teaching
how to play poker.
TV
Right.
stars, TV like beat. I can't come up with the word. Words are hard right now.
Like, awesome.
Young TV stars how to
Yes.
play.
Yes.
Right.
You've
right.
taught me well, Tony.
Well done. Well done, Josh.
What is the name of Topher Grace's manager in the movie?
Bernie.
So,
Actually, they're both
yes.
named Bernie.
Both
God
named Bernie.
damn, Josh. Shit, dude.
The name of who?
I've
What?
probably
This
seen
is-
this movie more than any other movie in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's manager? I'm sorry, I'm missing something.
Topher Grace, when he's having a conversation with Rusty about paying by check.
Oh,
He wanted to
Yeah.
pay by
yeah.
cash, and he's like,
Yeah,
but here's
yeah.
the
He
thing.
says his manager and Rusty.
Bernie.
Then he goes Bernie, and he goes,
Yeah, Bernie. Not
well,
that.
no, but actually they're both named Bernie.
Okay. I couldn't figure out who the fuck Topher Grace was. That name never stuck with me. I really didn't care about
he's
him.
playing himself because he goes by
Yes.
Topher.
Yeah.
That's,
Yep.
that's a hell of a name.
Do you know what he's
It's-
from?
If you
Do you know
don't
what
want
made
to
him-
go by
what made him a
Chris
celebrity?
and your name is Christopher,
Yep.
Is that what it is? Really?
I think so.
Wait.
Okay. If
wait.
your name is
So
Christopher,
his name is Christopher, and he doesn't want to go by Chris,
And he
so he
goes
goes
by
by
Topher.
Topher.
Why not?
What a fucking idiot! I'm sorry.
Who was the director of Ocean's 11 the remake?
Steven Soderbergh.
Correct.
Of course, our film
Ka-
expert would get that
Karen,
one.
I think we're just gonna hang out for most of these questions.
Oh no, I'm fighting for some of these. I know this movie.
Well,
very well.
I just ruined this one. How does Topher want to pay Rusty for his time?
Yeah, with a check.
with a check.
Yeah, by check. It's just this weird thing that let's just stick to cash. We'll just stick to cash.
We'll stick to cash. Man.
Oh, the look on his face.
Because
was
Yeah.
I could consider it a tax write-off if I was preparing
Right.
for a movie.
So I
And I
think
love how Rusty says nothing. Just
Yeah.
stares
Right.
at him
Looks
he just looks at
and lets him work his way through the whole thing.
Well, which is funny because he does that later to Danny when Danny's asking about
Yes, if we need
Yeah,
another.
do you think
Rusty
we need another
never said
guy?
a word.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think we
And
need-
that was like a separate location, right? So they set up to do that whole scene, and all Pitt had to do was lie there with his face on the bar the entire time.
Right.
Which I will say this, I have also learned with Mark that most times I don't have to say anything. I just let him work through it and he will get to the right answer.
I don't like that she can manipulate me like this.
She's not.
She just drops it like on here's some facts, Mark. I'm just
No,
gonna drop
I
these
don't even
right
have
here.
to say that.
Just
A lot of
let
times
you
you're
think it
like, I
through.
want to do this. Really? Okay. Tell me more about that. I don't
Right.
All right. Good.
All right.
Okay.
What is Rusty's response to the bartender's question about how the game is going?
I slept with
Sleeping with your wife.
Yes.
Yes.
And what do you say
I'm
about-
running away with your wife is what he said.
Yes, that's it.
Longest hour of my life. And the guy says, what?
He's like-
And he says, I'm running away with your wife.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, hey, cool.
According to Daniel,
Daniel.
according to Daniel, at the celebrity poker game, what was he in prison?
Art theft.
Move
Ancient
Was it
Egypt or
prison
ancient Incan no. Yeah, is it
Ancient Mayan,
ancient Incan ceremonial masks.
Ceremonial masks. There you go.
Yeah.
He says simply, I stole things. That's why he was in prison.
Yeah.
Oh, we went for the hard answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you crushed it.
Mine was better.
Okay. According to
It's to the
Rusty,
point.
what was the first lesson in poker?
Oh, shit.
Never show emotion.
Leave emotion at the door. Yep.
Leave emotion at the door.
What hand does Daniel have that wins him the pot in the celebrity poker
I
game?
knew he was going to ask that.
Don't know.
All red? No, I know that's not the right one.
All right.
Red.
You have
Yeah.
6 cards. You can't have 6 cards.
He can't have 6 cards in a 5-card game. Well, that might be mine. He says he's got 4 9s and an ace. Says I know the ace. I don't know about the
Yeah,
the
I
ace
don't know
is-
the four nines, but the
ace
ace
is
is pretty
high.
good. Yes.
What does Josh Hartnett say to Rusty after Daniel shows his winning poker hand?
Thanks for the tip or something like that.
Yeah, thanks for the tip on calling out the bluff there.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, and our last one, off the top of his head, what cons does Rusty say that they need to run to knock over 3 casinos?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh shit. And the biggest Ella Fitzgerald anyone's ever seen. A Boski,
Yep.
a Jim Brown.
Yep.
Something Sphinx, a Leon
Jim
Sphinx.
Brown.
A Leon
and then
Spinks,
Jim Brown
yep.
from the Cleveland Browns. Oh, now
Off
I
the top of
wonder-
my head, a Boski, a Jim Brown, a Leon Sphinx,
And the big,
Jethro.
Jethro's another one of them.
Jethro.
Jethro.
You're
Yeah.
only missing one more.
Oh fuck.
Um,
I'm gonna be no help on this because we started throwing those out.
oh, Miss Daisy.
You got it. Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, very good,
Woo.
Tony.
They specifically say, he says, a Boski, a Jimbo, a Miss Daisy, 2 Jethros, a Leon Sphinx, and the biggest Ella Fitzgerald ever.
Oh, a Jim Bow. I thought you said a Jim Brown.
No, I did say Jim Brown.
I said Jim Brown. That was me.
Jim Brown's
you
correct.
you read Jim Bow.
Okay.
Oh, I meant Jim Brown.
Okay.
Good old Jimbo.
Jimbo.
Whew. All right.
Do you think we can associate the characters with what the? Because are we
Yeah, I
assuming that
would
these
love
are
to do that.
people? Do we assume that the biggest Ella Fitzgerald you've ever met is a person, and Miss
Yes.
Daisy is a person, and Jethro is a person, and
Oh,
Jim
you've never
Brown?
looked at, you never analyzed this?
I don't.
I
think
don't
so.
recall all of it, but I know
They
like
all have something to do with
the Leon Sphinx is specifically related to a boxing match that went awry because somebody flew somebody parachuted into the arena and it
Okay.
fucked the whole thing up. So it's basically a huge distraction is what a Leon Sphinx is.
Right.
You need to get
Okay.
everybody's attention and then
Diverted.
With a
elsewhere.
boxing max, almost specifically, right?
right.
A Jim Brown. I'm
Okay.
assuming has something to do with the way he ran through things. But
I thought it had something to do with him being a former athlete actor, but I can't remember.
Oh,
I looked
so it
this
makes
up
sense.
before, but I don't remember.
I'll be darned.
we'll have homework to go research.
Yeah, no,
All
for
right.
sure, for sure.
Oh wait, I just found a thing that says the cons, hustles, scams, and Ocean's 11. A Boski,
Oh,
Jim
shit.
Brown, and Miss Daisy. Do we dive into this? Or do we let people research at home?
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why
let's talk
Okay.
about it.
All right. A Boski. This is the character of Saul playing Lyman Zerga. Lyman Zerga is the whale who asked to put his jewels in the casino vault. This is a reference to Ivan Boski, a big-time trader on Wall Street who got caught committing securities fraud. The con here is about a wealthy roller who has inside info.
Oh,
Jim
nice.
Brown, named after the famous American football player. Let's see, the fight between the characters. So there's got a picture here of Ramon,
twins?
of freaking Frank.
Frank.
So no, it's I think it's the fight in backbeat, in behind the casino with you better talk to him. That fight. because they got a picture of Frank. Yeah, the fight between Frank Catton and Linus.
Oh, and the back of
Yeah.
house. Okay.
Yeah. So that's their Jim Brown.
Where Linus comes and
And he calls him a cracker.
calls him
and,
color.
Yeah.
Oh.
We've always supported.
We've
this,
always
yeah.
supported the hiring of colored.
Jesus.
All right.
Oh,
Might
gosh.
as well call it White Jack.
Right.
All right. Can anyone
Well,
guess what the
shiny
Miss
shoes.
Daisy is?
I assume it's got to be a driver.
Easy.
Yeah.
Oh, clever.
I don't know. That's all I
The
got.
vans. It's got to be
Yes,
the vans that are remote controlled.
It's the SWAT van.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, right, because you're bringing them in.
Yeah. And then, all right. What are the two Jethros?
I have no idea.
I'm
Or
guessing.
is
Twins?
it the guys from the twins from Salt Lake City?
Yes. So Beverly Hillbilly type characters, right?
Sure.
Huh?
Which they were, the way they fought with each other and stuff. You
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Take
want
them
to
over
watch
the
this
head.
movie again.
I know. That's what people in the
Yeah.
chat are saying too. It's
Dude,
like,
I know.
I'm
Paul was
doing
like,
this
I'm getting
when
as
it's
soon as we're done. As soon as we're done.
And by the way, another plug for Patreon. If you are a Patreon subscriber, there is audio of Mark and was it Alistair? I don't know. Mark and someone watching Ocean's 11, and if you are really good with play pause, you can sync it up so that you're hearing. It's like you're watching it with your buddies from 360 Vegas. So,
Cool.
all right. So
We had
Leon Sphinx.
Eric Anderson in the chat said that the power actually went out at the Sphinx fight.
Okay, I may be misremembering it. I just knew it was a fight. There was a disruption at the fight.
Which would explain, I mean, that one's obvious to the movie, right? That one matches up
Right,
perfectly.
power outage.
Yeah, sure.
Yep, and that is the Leon Sphinx. All right, what is Ella Fitzgerald?
So Ella Fitzgerald was a singer. So what would be the?
Yes.
The woman
What
who's
would
a
be-
distraction,
I thought it
That's what I'm
was
guessing.
yeah,
which would have been Tess. No, wouldn't have been Tess.
but I mean she wasn't part of the crew.
Right. So I don't know. I don't know how they make that connection.
This is a reference to a commercial for Memorex where a recording of Ella Fitzgerald's voice breaks a glass. The voiceover says, "Is it live or is it Memorex?"
Jeez.
The concept is that Benedict doesn't know if the robbery that he is witnessing is the
Yeah.
robbery that's actually happening.
Good grief.
Oh
Good
wow!
grief.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
The biggest
Yeah.
Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Which it was. That's good.
That's cool.
I like it.
Fun. All right. Did I hear you say that was the last question for tonight?
For now, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We've
Okay.
got plenty to go, but we don't need to burn through all of them.
All right.
I'm
Sounds great.
so hungry for more, though.
Well, then I guess that's going to do it for episode number 512. Thank you all for listening and downloading. We really do appreciate it. Special shout out to everyone that is in the 360 Vegas live YouTube chat. We appreciate you coming and hanging out. You make the show that much more fun when we can get your instant feedback on what we're chatting about.
Absolutely.
If you'd like to check out any of the stories on today's show, you can do so on the blog, which is 360vegaspodcast.com. You can get premium and exclusive content when you subscribe to our show at patreon.com/360vegas and get 360 Vegas shirts, mugs, and anything else that we can slap a logo on at zazzle.com/360vegas. Shout out to Sky on the Rocks, who was drinking out of his 360 Vegas mug this morning in
Woohoo!
anticipation for tonight's live podcast. If you'd like to send some feedback, please send that email to Mark. His email address is 360vegaspodcast@gmail.com.
Tony, where can folks find you?
I'm at 360 Vegas Tony.
Karen,
I'm at 360 Vegas Karen.
Josh.
I'm at 360 Vegas J-Dubs.
He just told you where you can find me. So until next time.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, gang.